Hello, everybody. How are you? All right, I'll stop sharing. I'll welcome everybody here. Thank you so much for coming. And obviously, some little settings changed. And let's face it, these days, some of the tiniest things can just throw you for a six. So I'm not going to stress too much about that. I'm just going to share my computer with you in a few seconds. But thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope things are starting to ramp up and the excitement starting to come back. It certainly is for me. I'm going to New Orleans on Sunday. So those of you who've been with me for the last sort of 9 months as we've gone through this process, and certainly with the Sydney lockdown, have seen me in lots of different ways, but Sydney is back, and Queensland, you'll be soon, I promise. New Zealand, it will come, it will come. So we're going to be testing everything out on Sunday as we fly to New Orleans. What we will be doing is, if everybody else knows Gate 7, we do Brand USA 2. So we'll be including a little webinar, I think it's on the 7th of December, where I'm going to put together everything that I needed for your trip so that you've got that expert advice that you can share with your agents. And that's everything from the PCR testing all the way about crossing the border and on those sort of things. Now, obviously, New Zealand, it is only to do with Australia, but it tends to be sort of similar as it goes along. There may be a few bits and pieces that you need to change up as far as, you're downloading your certificates and those sort of things. But at least this will give you a bit of an idea of what the USA wants. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for coming. This is our second last one. It's episode 9. We have got one more on the 15th of December. So let me go back onto that screen share, and yeah, you won't get to see me by the looks of things, but I am going to be chatting away and really hopefully inspiring you about the South. Okay, so here we are. And as I've mentioned, a huge big welcome to everybody. I've bragged about my trip to the USA already, but yeah, finding out all those really details that, we sort of need to know. So once again, thank you for coming to learn about everything Southern. So as I've mentioned before, there is just so much to do, see and explore in the South that we had to create this 10-episode webinar series on it. We've done everything from Southern cuisine, national parks and seashores, music, barbecue, civil rights, highways and byways, adventure, sports. There's been everything we've looked at, and we have got our second last episode today, which is episode 9, Authentic Southern Natural Wonders and the Stunning Ozark Mountains. I'm Penny Brand. I am your trade account manager with Gate 7, looking after all things Southern. And there are 10 states in there that we can help you with. So anything you've got, you can pop me in that email, penny@gate7.com.au. And as I said, from next week, I also intend to be the resident expert on how to navigate borders back into the USA. So feel free to reach out if you do have any questions on that. We have one more episode to come, and that is going to be on Wednesday, the 15th of December at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time and noon for all you Kiwis. And we are going to be looking at Southern holiday celebrations, trees, trains, and tinsel in Missouri. So one more episode left. And our first stop on our Natural Wonders tour is we are going to head to Missouri. And it can be called a natural wonder in itself because it's full of lakes, mountains, rivers, caves, and Rocky Fall is one of them. It's located on the southern Missouri Ozarks, and it's part of the Current River and Jack's Fork National Scenic Riverways. So that's another thing that you can explore there. The Ozarks does straddle both Missouri and Arkansas, which we'll be talking about as the star of our show. And it is the largest state park in Missouri, known as the Lake of the Ozarks, a widely popular destination for swimming, fishing, boating, or simply taking in the scenery from a lazy campsite or picnic area. Along the lake's shoreline, visitors will also find hiking and biking, equestrian paths, caves, and also swing beaches. And it's also known as the infamous Party Cove, packed with rows of boats and plenty of fun. But there's more than just the party that can be done here in the Lake of the Ozarks. There's also time to explore open woodlands, sunny glades, small springs, and towering bluffs that surround the lakes. And next, we're going to Kentucky, where I want you to picture a 40-meter wide wall of water dropping over a cliff into a gorge. And it is actually dubbed the Niagara of the South. And Cumberland Falls is impressive enough to, request a visit, but it's during the full moon that you might see the rare moonbow, which occurs when the moonlight meets the spray from the falls, creating a beautiful rainbow effect at night. And Kentucky is also famous for its caves. Now, the South is riddled with caves, and I'll mention a few because I do love the stalactite and stalagmite. But the most impressive is Kentucky's Mammoth Cave, known for its cathedral-like rooms with more than 650 kilometres of explored passages. It's the longest known cave system in the world. So definitely worth popping on that list when you head there to Kentucky. And we are going to West Virginia, which interestingly has received a Lonely Planet award this year. It has come in second place for the best region to visit. So West Virginia, all this information that we've been giving you, it's time to get out there and explore. And it's the Cranberry Glades Botanic Area that I am going to mention today. And it protects one of the largest areas of bogs in West Virginia. Now, bogs are acidic wetlands and more commonly found in northern USA and Canada. And the Cranberry Glades protects the largest area of bogs in West Virginia. So another thing to add to the list when you are there. Next, we are going to head to Seneca Rocks, and it's one of the best known landmarks in West Virginia. These rocks have long been noted as a scenic attraction that are popular with rock climbers, but they are purely magnificent. The formation rises nearly 300 metres above the North Fork River, so really stunning to have a look at. And next, we are on to North Carolina. And it's the Joyce Kilmer Memorial Forest, which is one of our spotlights as a natural wonder. Now, it's accessible only on foot, but it's a 3,800-acre preserve that is one of the largest areas of old-growth forest on the East Coast, and some of the region's largest trees. Among them are a 300-year-old tulip polar, and they soar at least 30 metres high, and they've got a 6-metre wide circumference. So no hugging those trees because they are just big. But we're also going to head to Jockey's Ridge in North Carolina, and that is the tallest sand dune in the eastern US. It's an icon of North Carolina's Outer Banks. And you can brave the climb to the top to have a beautiful view of Bodie Island and the Atlantic Ocean. Or for those who are really adventurous, sign up for a hang gliding school based at the park where you can launch yourself off this 30-metre high sand dune. We are going to head south to South Carolina from there, and just south of Columbia, Congaree National Park is home to miles of hiking and paddling trails, but it's the trees that really leave an impression. They're up to 300 years old and 500 metres high. Many of these champion pine trees are the tallest of their species in the country. Another highlight is to head to the park in late May or early June after dark to experience the fireflies, but more on fireflies to come, because we are now going to head to the Appalachian Mountains. Now, everybody's probably heard of the Appalachian Trail. It's a massive hiking track that goes from the northeast down to the southeast. The mountains cover a huge distance, but in the southern part, they reach from Alabama to West Virginia, going through South Carolina. So here you'll find some beautiful, stunning natural wonders, including the magnificent Blue Ridge Mountains of South Carolina near Greenville. And now we are going to Tennessee, where the Tuckaleechee Caverns, now is not that the best name? Tuckaleechee Caverns is home to more stalactites and stalagmites. And it's not for the claustrophobic. The tour will make most people feel like they're entering another world. And it's especially known for the big room. So it's the biggest cavern in the eastern United States. And it's really quite a surreal experience because an entire football stadium can fit inside. On top of that, you'll catch a glimpse of the Silver Falls, the largest underground waterfall in the region. But it is the fireflies in the Great Smoky Mountains that are a star of the Tennessee natural wonders. Now, these are synchronous fireflies that actually glow in a unified pattern. Now, is that just not mind-blowing? When I was researching them, I was just like, I have to go and see them. They are not very common, and there are very few places in the world that you can see this species. But it's here in the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee that they have the largest population. And you can see them in Elkmont, and it's from late May to early June. So just a really small little patch that you can see them glowing in unified patterns, which just blows my mind. So next, guys, we are heading to Sweet Home, Alabama. And it's the Shoals lily that take the natural wonder here. They are so rare that they only appear in certain parts of the South. The largest part in the world is, the largest place they can be found is in Alabama's Cahoga River at Hargrave Shoals. And you'll find tufts of these metre-high shoal lilies. They bloom between Mother's Day and Father's Day, but only for a single day each year. Another natural wonder is sitting down there in Mobile Bay, right down there on the Gulf of Mexico in Alabama South. There's loads to visit around here, whether or not you sail out for the day or check out the historic site of a Civil War battle. A visit to Dolphin Island is known as the best sunsets in the South. So Mobile Bay down in Dolphin Island, Alabama. And this whole Gulf Coast is really quite spectacular. Mississippi's Gulf region is also along this, and Biloxi Lighthouse and Beach are also great to visit and see this stunning coastal wetlands. But it was the Buyer Mound and Village site in Mississippi that took my fancy as an amazing wonder. Now, these are the burial sites of native Indians from 100 BC. So very, very old. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Plants, and it's part of the Natch Tech Trace Parkway. I've mentioned that in a few other webinars I've had, but the 15-acre site is located on Low Ridge. It's got 6 conical burial mounds, which range in height from 1.5 metres to 4.3, and it's the sacred Indian burial sites from way back in 100 BC. And we are heading to Louisiana, and one of the most popular state parks is Chico Lake, and it's home to record catches of largemouth bass and bluefish. And there's also extensive hiking and primitive camping options on the Cypress Lake environment. So these fabulous trees that you get to explore. And they're also in the Atchafalaya Basin, the largest river swamp in the United States. They contain almost 100 million of the bottomland forest and bayous, and it stretches 140 miles from Simsport to the Gulf of Mexico. So something really worth exploring. And I'm actually going on a swamp tour when I'm in New Orleans. Sorry, bragging everybody, but all being in travel, I know how fabulous it will be for all of us to get back there on a plane. And we are going to be heading to the star of the show, and that is to Arkansas, the natural state. Now, before we move on to our guest, Travis, telling us all about it, it would be rude not to mention that sitting atop of one of the world's few gem-bearing volcanic craters, known as the Crater of Diamonds, it's the only place in the world where the general public can hunt for rare stones. I've got you, haven't I? That chance of finding it. You can sit there and sift through this 38-acre ploughed field, the surface of a volcanic crater, looking for white, brown, and yellow diamonds. And the largest one ever found in the US came from here. So people still pull sizable diamonds from the surface almost daily. So that is Crater of Diamonds, everybody. And we all deserve a little bit of glitter in our life. So now, please welcome to Travis.
Hi, I'm Travis Napper, Director of Arkansas Tourism. Arkansas is part of the United States South, a region known for Americana culture, great food, and a musical heritage second to none. The land in Arkansas is diverse, from vast farmlands along the mighty Mississippi River to the Ozark Mountains, making up our northwest border. And the Ozarks have inspired movies, TV shows, books, and music. The 2021 Academy Award-winning film, Minari, was set in northwest Arkansas, and HBO filmed the third season of its crime drama, True Detective, here. The classic Western novel, True Grit, and the movie based on the book are both set in the frontier town of Fort Smith. Musical legends such as Alan Jackson, the Oak Ridge Boys, and current hitmaker Chris Stapleton have all called out the Ozark Mountains in song. Do we have your interest yet? Here, let the video do the rest.
Make Arkansas part of your southern U.S. adventure and take a road trip across the natural state. Northwest Arkansas is the birthplace of the largest retailer in the world and also home to one of the hottest museums in the country, the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. Not to mention the first national river, the Buffalo, the beautiful Ozark Mountains, crystal clear lakes, great biking, hiking, camping, floating, and fishing. But there's a lot more, including exceptional fine dining, a craft brewery scene, and great shopping and nightlife. Travel by car, motorcycle, and air. Private airstrips provide fast travel between cities and more hard-to-find locations. Not too far away, Eureka Springs beckons with quaint Victorian architecture, spas, music, and the famous Great Passion Play. For a little taste of the Old West, head down to Fort Smith, where the National Historic Site is home to Judge Parker's courtroom. North Central Arkansas is a land of lakes, rivers, and mountains. Mountain Home is near the top of the state and situated near the White River, one of the bucket list destinations for trout fishing enthusiasts. Due south is home to authentic native music, arts, and crafts.
Hi, I'm Jessica Ledbetter, Director of Global Sales for Arkansas Tourism. Of course, we believe that Arkansas is pretty amazing, but we don't want you to take our word for it. Let me introduce you to some travel enthusiasts who will share their love of the natural state. Starting with Kate and Samantha, two friends from Salt Lake City, Utah, who spent several days in the Ozarks.
We go through all these phases, revisit visit all these places, knee deep in all these places, different cities, the same faces.
So we made it to Bentonville. We've been walking around town, checking out the shops.
When you come back to town, to pay a little visit, yeah, to your old stomping ground.
We're at Crystal Bridges, and first impression, this architecture is really unreal. I've been to a lot of museums all over the world, and I'll be honest, this one is the coolest. Look how real. It's kind of crazy. Just walking through the gallery. I'm inside of a spider. Arachnophobia. So we're heading to the Frank Lloyd Wright house. Yes, Frank Lloyd Wright. As you can see, he was tiny because I almost hit the ceiling. Everything in the house lines up perfectly, which is crazy. From the floor to the beams, the lines on the lamp. We're heading to a adult playground, wiffle ball. I'm gonna throw up, I can't stop. I feel like I'm stuck spinning. We're at Petty Jean. We're gonna do a waterfall. I'm super excited.
Where are we?
Petty Jean State Park. Sounds like there's some crazy water down there. Follow the orange. Okay, so we're out here at Cedar Falls. Look how gorgeous it is. Hey, hey, Cedar Falls. You're gonna hike all the way around. We're hiking down there. Hiking from like over there, came to that, and then you're gonna hike all the way up around, which is rad. We're getting closer to the falls, so it's getting little chilly. How do you go under it? Woohoo! So cool. Beautiful!
Arkansas is building a reputation internationally for exceptional mountain biking. Fayetteville will host the 2022 Cyclocross World Championship, and Bentonville was named Mountain Biking Capital of the World in 2020. There are hundreds of miles of trails around the state, including in Rogers, where cyclist Harold recently got an opportunity to ride in Hobbs State Park.
Rogers, Arkansas is where you come to mountain bike.
Rogers has the Hobbs State Park that we're in right now, 54 miles of single track. It's very approachable, it's very family friendly, and of course in downtown Rogers you have Lake Atlanta, and there's the rail yard, which is a great place for young people and young families to hone their mountain biking skills on the pump track there. When you finish a day on single track, you got to go to downtown Rogers. Whether you want a cold beer, you want great restaurants, a lot of things to do in downtown Rogers, you got to pay to visit.
This is like a mountain biker's heaven. I had a blast, Mike. Thank you so much for bringing me out here.
Anytime, Harold. Let's do it again soon.
JR and Kit live and travel in their 1976 Volkswagen bus, affectionately named Sunshine. This couple found plenty of places across the Ozarks that provided that famous Southern hospitality to them and to Sunshine, with great access to camping facilities always within a short drive.
You hear that bell? We rented bikes to take around. It's the perfect way to get around Fayetteville. Everyone's so bike friendly here. You can get anywhere you need to go. There's market, coffee, flowers, farmers market. And you can rent these bikes right in town. My favorite way to get around, don't tell sunshine.
You got me moving, shaking like I need a release.
Right now, we're entering Devil's Den State Park. There's some waterfalls here, and we're gonna be chasing them. We're about to head out onto an overlook to watch the sunrise. We hiked up to a lookout, got here right at sunrise, right as the sun was breaking over the mountain, and it was so beautiful. We're at this old mill here called the War Eagle Mill. This was an old homestead apparently. There's an old bridge that was constructed in 1907. When you go across, you feel like you could fall in the river, so it feels really adventurous. I have a farm bucket list of all the things I want to do on here on the farm. I'm going to cuddle a chicken. Me and her are buds. I'm going to milk a cow. I'm going to hug a horse. And I'm going to feed a cow barley. I want to bring her with us, can we? Tonight, these lovely ladies behind us are preparing a delicious farm to fork dinner. It looks like it's going to be really good. We're ready to eat. This is too pretty to eat, though.
The entire downtown of Eureka Springs is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and as you wander through the winding streets, it's easy to see why. Visit a haunted hotel, see the Great Passion Play, or join our next video host, Heather, in checking out the quirky shops.
We had the most beautiful drive through the Ozarks this morning and ended up in this incredible town called Eureka Springs. Right now we are surrounded by dozens of natural springs. The story is that the magnetic springs actually have healing powers, and that's what brought people to Eureka Springs in the first place. I am already obsessed with the vibe here. The scenery is incredible, the shopping is incredible. It smells so good in here. Sugar Spite has over 300 different types of sodas. Most of them are made locally. McFuddy's. Apparently it's like a spicy Dr. Pepper. So eclectic and funky. It's really different than any other place that I've been.
Our last stop is in Mountain View, home of the Ozark Folk Center State Park, where Ozark culture is interpreted for visitors through crafts, food, and music. You can also visit a living cave system, splash in the waterfalls, fish for trout in the White River, and zip line through the Ozark National Forest. Today, we are ending your journey through the Ozarks with a performance by Arkansas's own Bonnie Montgomery.
Here's a tune called Joy from Arkansas's own, performing live at the Ozark Folk Center.
Back in 1924, in the year that I was born, on a hill, on a mountain they called Joy. I was 7th in the line and my family was fine. Daddy sang bass, mama sang tenor all night long. Me and Dora went out to hunt and the good Lord took him up. Lived in town, we laid him in the grave. We went to church and went to town. From the mountain we come down. Met my gal and her daddy let me stay. Well, they say I've got the gold and I'm gonna have it all. I was born up in the sky and I'm never gonna die.
Thanks for joining us today for a quick tour of the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas. Our state is always waiting with open arms and a surplus of southern hospitality to welcome visitors to experience our outdoor adventures and charming cities that are truly the heart of the Americana experience.
Well, there you go. There is Arkansas. It looks pretty amazing, doesn't it? I think one of the most amazing things about, the places we've been going to on this series is that they're not the stock standard, that they're getting out there and seeing something that you may have never heard of or only heard of in a television show. So, and that's actually what Maria said. She said, never heard of about the Ozarks before the TV show started. So yeah, really, really good to see these different things. Now, as I've mentioned, we have one more episode left, everybody. It is on Wednesday the 15th, and we're going to be looking at authentic Southern holidays and celebrations. Just a reminder, my name is Penny. There's my mobile and email. If you have any questions, you're not really sure, where would I send them? I can hopefully pop you in the right direction for all of that. So thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you coming today. Next time, I will promise I will brag more and more about my trip to New Orleans. I know you're also desperate to get away as well soon, so I'm sure that's going to happen for all of you really soon. But if there's anything you need, reach out. We do have a Gate 7 Facebook page. If you just search Gate 7 Agents and request that, I'll be popping in all the information onto that Facebook page about how my trip goes. You might even get some videos of me. Hopefully it's not going to be annoying any TSA agents. Because let's face it, I don't want to get in trouble. So thank you all. Really appreciate you coming with us this morning, and have a lovely day, lovely weekend, and hopefully it's all looking much better, looks brighter and happier for everybody. And you're busy making new bookings rather than refunding for the next forever. Forever. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you being here.